All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a video entitled, "It's a Shame That You Israelite Women Have Become So Wicked That Even the wicked Edomite woman, man, is starting to be viewed as better than you, and as more of a better choice for a woman than you." Like that's actually mad, bro. Because the Edomite woman, despite how more feminine she is compared to you Edomite women, she's still a demon herself, man. Right? She's still wicked herself, man, if we really be honest. Right? And all the heathen women, they're still wicked themselves, but because you Israelite women have become so wicked, you've made the Edomite women and the heathen women look as though they're better than you, man, when really that's not what it's supposed to be like. Now let me get I don't know what scripture I can go to. Second Ezra chapter 3 and verse 28. Are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion? And when we look at these women, right, of these other nations, it shouldn't be that we can look at these other women of these other nations, and this ain't necessarily what this scripture is talking about, man, but I'm taking it to apply it to this particular situation in this case, right? Because it shouldn't be a thing where the Israelite woman is seen as more wicked than the Edomite woman, man. Because you Israelite women can't say that according to the scriptures, the Edomite man is acting more according to the scriptures than we are. You can't say that, right? Neither can you women say, "Oh, we ain't this and we ain't that," because despite the Israelite man being the poorest of the nations, right, the Negro, Latino, and Native American man, despite him being of the poorest of the nations, right, he still can get any of these women out here, man, if he turns the charm on and ends up in a close enough proximity to certain types of women, man, which is why you've had rappers, right, dating elite family members of Esau's daughters, and how you've had like just random Jakes that go to university or college dating like Bill Gates' daughter and all that, man. Right? You've had that. So you can't say the same thing to us. Verse 29, for when I came hither, I had seen impurities without number. Then my soul saw many evildoers in the 30th year, so that my heart failed me. For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning, and hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies, and has not signified it. And when we look at these other nations' women, they're still wicked, right? When we look at the heathen women of these other nations, they're still wicked. Yet you Israelite women have become worse, to where these women of these other nations look more attractive to you in certain situations, man. Their attitude, man, right, and their personality will actually seem more feminine than you Israelite women, man, and that's a shame, because you're supposed to be the best women on earth, and in the kingdom you will be the best women on earth, man. And ultimately, it's a curse that Yahweh has put on us, because if the women of our nation were on point, like I've heard the apostles say, right? Apostle Tahar in particular, if the Israelite woman was on point, then this captivity wouldn't be no problem. It wouldn't matter what you're going through if your woman's on point and she's doing everything that she's supposed to do according to the scriptures. So ultimately, this is a curse, man, that we have to face. That our woman's bugged out like she is. Verse 31, I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? And that's a question that we can ask. Should the women of the other nations, right, be seen as better in the Israelite man's eyes than the Israelite woman? And they shouldn't be. That's a shame for that to be the case, man. That's not a good thing, man. Verse 32, or is there any other people that know of thee beside Israel, or what generation of soul believe thy covenants as Jacob? And the majority of you Eve women, right, you black Shebrew Shebrew Evites from the tribe of Evi, right? Y'all don't believe the scriptures. Y'all don't believe in the Lord. I've got female family members and all that. They don't believe in the Lord, man. They believe in themselves and their own ways and their own mentality and their own thought processes, man. And that's why there's a certain cloud over you, Israelite women's head, of having that weave spirit on you, man. That weave, the gelled baby hairs, right? The long fingernails, the different weird color hairstyles. There's a certain template that has been copy and pasted over the majority of Israelite women, man. Now, granted, all these other nations, women have got templates that are copy and pasted over them too. But their template, what the majority of them are, versus what the majority of you Israelite women have became, theirs is more feminine than yours. And it shouldn't be that way because you're supposed to be the best woman, man. And that's why in the book of Esther, right, Xerxes, he got rid of Vashti, right? I believe her name was Vashti, and he replaced Vashti with an Israelite woman. Susanna was a beautiful Israelite woman, right? Esther was actually a Benjamite, man, if you can believe that. That a Benjamite woman was actually in her right mind, man, if you can believe that, bruv. That a Benjamite woman was like a thing that was considered glorious of that time. Because the Benjamite women, potentially, if you really go by what's happened in the scriptures, might actually be the worst Israelite tribe of women. Because there was a time when Yahweh got rid of every single one of them, and there wasn't no such thing as an Israelite woman from the tribe of Benjamin for a time. And they had to be replaced by the men of the tribe of Benjamin getting with other women, man. And I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was women from the tribe of Manasseh that they ended up getting those other wives from. If I'm not mistaken, man. Verse 32, or is there any other people that know of thee beside Israel, or what generation of soul believe thy covenants as Jacob, and yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit? For I've gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth and think not upon thy commandments. So here it is, even though you Israelite women a lot of the time don't think upon the commandments, neither are these heathen women thinking upon the commandments, yet they're viewed and they're actually more feminine than you are. Right? But then you Israelite women, if you hear that, you'll say, oh, but we've got a reason for why we're like that. But then you wouldn't want to hear us say the same thing in combatant of what in reply of what you women have got to say about us. Or you Israelite men are broke. Oh, but the reason why we're broke is you wouldn't care. Right? Or you men do this, you men cheat, and or whatever you want to say. Right? You wouldn't want to hear the same thing in reply to your grievances, man. Which all those things that you would complain about are ultimately because Yahweh's put a curse on you. So that your men of your nation ain't doing the things that you want them to do, and neither can you find it for the most part from any other nation of men. Because they don't want you either. They ain't gonna give you the things neither because it's a curse that Yahweh's put on you, man. And it's a shame that there's so many videos going on you Israelite women, and then it's not like men are bullying you and making up statements and saying things against you that are not true, because the things that they say about you, that is actually how you are. Right? You actually are doing these things. You actually do carry yourself in this way, man. And it's a shame because in the kingdom of heaven, you're not going to be like that. And when you look back on what you was acting like, and when even we think about it, we're going to be like, man, I'm thankful to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that they ain't never going to act like that again. Verse 34, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in a balance, and there's also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name no will be found. But in Israel, and the main people speaking about the Lord's name in Israel are the men. Right? The women ain't really speaking about that. The women are still calling upon that J word. The one that the Christian church is pushing out. They're still calling upon that. Verse 35. When was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Because these heathen women ain't keeping their Lord's commandments, man. Yet they're still acting more feminine than you Israelite women that should be keeping the commandments. Verse 36. Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. And this is why we know it's a curse, man. And in the situation that we're in, because these heathen nations are not above us because they're better than us. They're just in the position that they're in because we've sinned. And when we stop sinning, and when we get brought under the new covenant, there won't be any of them that end up being able to be in a position over us, man. Because the first blessing is this: Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I commanded this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all the nations, above all nations of the earth. So in that time, the Israelites are going to be established better than everyone. And then the Israelite woman will be in her own right mind, man. And let me get this scripture, man. Because our women have became destroyed, man. Like Sexy Red and Suki Hannah shouldn't be a thing that exists, right? And all the women that made music before them, right? That was the ones that gave birth to these new wicked ways. They would have had to keep one-upping the previous wickedness of former musicians. They shouldn't have existed and been a thing, man. But it had to go that way for prophecy's sake and for Yahweh to show us what happens if we don't follow his way. But when we get changed, man, we're going to see why he put us through all of that. Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 21. For thus saith Yahweh, how much more when I send my four sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword and famine and noisome beast and pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings, and ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when ye see their ways and their doings, and ye shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, saith the Lord Yahweh. So when the 2/3 are destroyed, right, and certain wickednesses of even us have been destroyed out of us, man, if we're of the elect, man, we're going to understand why Yahweh put the whole nation through what he put them through, man. And we're going to understand why Yahweh even made this be the story that he was going to use and the method he was going to use to make his chosen nation go through. Because he could have just made them have it straight away without having to go through anything. But instead, he made them go through things and then receive it, right? And I'm going to end the lesson there, man. It's a shame that you Israelite women, it's a shame that you Israelite women have become so degenerate that the heathen women look better than you to us in some cases, man. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.